Second pitch called strike two. We're just going to warn you, with the home plate umpire we've got, he's very, very deliberate in his calls. So if it's because we're just waiting to see what he's going to call. He does not tip his hand at all. 1-2 pitch fouled back. De Leon went over in the first game of today's doubleheader. Walked and scored a run for the Cougars. Brown with the 1-2 pitch. De Leon reaches, sends this one down the left field line. It's going to fall in fair territory. Divis comes over, scoops it up, but not before De Leon makes his way into second with a leadoff double. A well-placed ball by Xavier De Leon. Can't fault Brown for the way he worked that at bat. He's going to bring up the center fielder, Tyler Hawk. Hawk was 0 for 3 in game one, pair of strikeouts. De Leon gets his lead off second. This one's fouled to the right side. Morgan records the first out here in the top of the first inning. So Brown bounces back to get an out after the leadoff double. Tyler Hawk fouling out to Bobby Morganson on the first base side. Austin Lynch, the designated hitter. Lynch had a double in game one, 1 for 4. Reaches out, strokes this one into center. Schaefer comes in, but has to play it on the bounce, and that's going to score De Leon. So just like game one, the Cougars draw first blood here in game two. De Leon scored the first run in both. It's going to bring up the catcher, Michael Oyervides. Oyervides hit a no doubt hard home run in game one, inning one. Takes the first pitch upstairs. Swing and a miss, evens the count at 1-1. It's the third appearance on the season for Mike Brown. 4 2/3 innings. Allowed 1 earned run, 1.93 ERA. Oyervides hits this one into the gap into left center. Schaefer and Divis are going to give chase, but it's going to get to the fence. That's going to bring home Lynch for the second Cougar run. And Oyervides at second with an RBI double. So quickly, the Cougars up 2-0. Brings up Joshua Detweiler, the right fielder for Redlands. Oyervides at second. Swing and a miss. Big cut by Detweiler. One away here in the top of the first. It's been a beautiful afternoon. Second pitch misses upstairs. was talk of trying to move this up and play it on Sunday, but we had enough moisture on Saturday and a lack of sunshine and wind that would have helped dry the field out. A couple of real trouble spots here. The warning track, they have a hard time getting rid of the water, and then behind the plate, because of the press box, the area behind the plate never sees the sun. So it takes a little bit of extra time for that part to dry out. Oh and 2 to Detweiler. Brown gets him to chase one in the dirt. Swing and a miss. They record the out at first for the second out. Oyervitas has to stay put at second. So there's 2 away now. It's going to bring up the second baseman, Nate Williams. First pitch ball to Williams. Officially, Williams just 0 for 1 in the first pair of walks in 3 at-bats. Fouls this one off to the right side. Counts even, 1-1. Tried to check his swing, couldn't do so. 1-2 now the count. Hobart-Detter Field, not only the home of the Blue Dragons, also the home of the Salt Hawks of Hutchinson High School and the Hutchinson Monarchs Summer League team. Just off the outside. Brown wanted that one. 2-2 the count. Quite a few of these Blue Dragons are going to play for the Monarchs in the Wood Bat League this summer. Been some tremendous ball players come through this way. Going back to the days of the Hutchinson Broncs. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, that ends the inning, but not before the Cougars played a pair. 2 runs, 3 hits. After half an inning, Dragons coming to bat. Christian Heron on the mound for Redlands Community College Cougars as we start the Blue Dragon half of the first inning in Game 2 of today's doubleheader. Heron facing the Dragons' leadoff hitter Wyatt Divis. Divis quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. Wyatt had a double, single, hit by pitch, and a home, 3 for 3 in Game 1. Scored 4 runs. Ahead in the count now, 3-0. Wyatt will be playing next year for the Mavericks of University of Texas Arlington. And earns a 4-pitch walk to get things started here for Hutch. Brings up the second baseman, Logan Sartori. Logan also went 3 for 3 in Game 1, scored 3 runs. Single, double, triple, just a home run shy of the cycle, and walked. Top 3 Dragons in the order in the first game went 9 for 10. Sartori takes the first pitch, grounds it sharply to third. It's going to set up a nice 5-4-3 double play in a race. Divis in a hurry. First pitch swinging. He hit it hard, but right at the third baseman. So just like that, there's 2 away. Nobody on. Bringing up Bobby Morganson. Bobby was 3 for 4, scored 3. So those top 3 not only went 9 for 10, but they scored 10 runs in Game 1. Bobby had a pair of singles and a long home run. Ahead in the count, 1-0. Bobby will be playing in Conference USA with the Owls of Florida Atlantic. And Bobby turns on this first one. And there's no question about this one as well. Takes that one out deep to right. One was a long home run, and he starts off Game 2 much the same way. Cuts the lead in half now, 2-1. Redlands over Hutch. Somebody must have pointed out to Bobby before today that he was homerless through the first 7. He didn't take too kindly to that. Brings up Zach Baxley. Zach was 1 for 3 in Game 1. Reached on a hit by pitch. Freshman from Andale High School. Turns on this one, lines a base hit into left. It's going to get past the left fielder, go to the fence. Zach's going to motor into second. So the Dragons have hit it hard the last 3 batters. Unfortunately, the first was a hard enough hit ball that it turned to double play, but then Morganson with the homer, Baxley with the double. It's going to bring up Garrett Stevens. Garrett's the catcher in today's game. Did not play in Game 1. Platooning with Scott Wolverton. Stevens batting .364. This one's inside, gets away from the catcher. That pass ball is going to move Baxley up to third. Stevens hitting .364. 4 singles, 4 RBIs. He's got another candidate sitting there at third for him. 1-0 the count. Another one up and in. 2-0. Garrett's a sophomore from Kansas City, Kansas. Turns on this one, hits it sharply to third, but the liner's caught by the third baseman, throws it across just to be safe. That's going to end the first, but the Dragons get one back. After one, Redlands leads it 2-1. Trevin Robinson to lead things off for the Cougars. Top of the second inning. That's called strike one. From Mike Brown. Quickly 0-2 on the foul ball. And Brown makes quick work of Robinson before I could even find his stat sheet from the first game. So, quick strikeout to start the top of the second. It's going to bring up Casey Cooper, the first baseman for the Cougars. Cooper got a late pinch hit appearance in game one. Fouls the first pitch away. Ball one just low. Evens the count at 1-1. Started to say last inning about the Hutchinson Monarchs, and a number of the Blue Dragons will be playing for the Monarchs this summer. Swing and a miss for strike two. Between games was sharing with one of the players some of the names that have been on this field in the past. Barry Bonds, Roger Clemens, Rafael Palmeiro. Moritz makes the play, fires it across to Morganson for the 6-3 out in the second out. And way back when, there was a young man from Oklahoma playing for a team, I believe out of Joplin, by the name of Mantle that played on this field. That'll bring up the left fielder, Luke Ball. Luke had a pinch hit single in game one. Ball one. Just foul down the first base line. Tried to sneak one over the bag past Morgan. Just inches foul. Counts even at 1-1, 2 away, top of the second. Luke Ball at the plate for the Cougars. Facing Mike Brown, Blue Dragon pitcher. 1-1 pitch in the dirt. We got a note from the concession stand between games wanting to know if Steve Carpenter was here because they hadn't sold any Coca-Cola at all today. And if you know Carp, those 24 packs for him, 24 packs for him are a daily commitment. Swing and a miss. Strike three. So Brown gets the Cougars in order in the second. Redland leads it 2-1. Shortstop Ryan Moritz trying to get things started for the Blue Dragons here in the bottom of the second. Takes a pitch high and away from Christian Heron. Pitcher for the Cougars. Christian's a 6'5" freshman from Blanchard, Oklahoma. Ball 2 up and away, 2-1 the count. Wouldn't want to face this Redlands team in the intramurals. They've got 6'4" across the board, 6'5", 6'7". Big swing and a miss from Moritz, evens it at 2-2. Moritz 2 for 3 with the single and a double in game 1. Grounds this one back to Heron. Scoops it, makes the throw across for the first out of the second. That'll bring up Dylan Nedved. Dylan came in. Pitching appearance in game 1, now at third base here in game 2. Freshman from Shawnee, Kansas. Swinging at the first pitch, sends it high behind the plate. Oyervitas has room and makes the out. So one pitch, and Nedved is out for the second out of the inning. It's going to bring up the center fielder, Brock Schaefer. Redshirt sophomore from Andover. Schaefer was 1 for 2 in the first game, scored a run, also hit by a pitch. Fouls the first one off, strike 1. Counts even now, 1-1. Julian Rip on deck for the Blue Dragons, hoping to get an appearance here in this inning. Schaefer now down 1-2. Here's the 1-2 delivery. In the dirt, counts even. Blue Dragons return to action right here at Hobart-Detter on Thursday. Up and away, ball 3. Hosting the Colby Trojans in the opening of league play, Jayhawk Conference Western Division. 2 here against Colby on Thursday, and then they hit the road and go to Colby for 2 on Saturday. Full count pitch fouled back by Schaefer. Heron gets set. Here comes the full count pitch. This one also fouled away. Three-two delivery is wide. Brock earns a 2-out walk. Well, the Dragons did their damage in the bottom of the first with 2 away. Let's see if they can do the same in the bottom of the second. Julian Rip, the 9-hole right fielder, coming up. Julian struck out a couple of times in game one and then came through with the big home run in the bottom of the sixth. 1 for 3. Takes this one outside. Schaaf gets his lead over at first. Heron keeps an eye on him. Strike on the outer half. Swing and a miss by Julian, now 1-2. Still had a few people strolling into Hobart-Detter Field. Good crowd forming this afternoon. Great afternoon to get out, get some sunshine, take in some baseball. Julian fouls this one towards the Blue Dragon dugout. Coach Cervantes waited till it rolled to a complete stop before he went over to attempt to field it, but he waited so long somebody got to it before him. It's one way he protects his fielding percentage. Heron checks the runner, brings the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss by Julian. That's going to end the second. Nothing across for Hutch. After 2, Redlands leads it 2-1. Cougars back to the top of the order here in the top of the third inning. Xavier De Leon to face Grady Kirkhart. Kirkhart on the mound for Hutch here in the top of the third. De Leon doubled in the first, came around to score the first run of the game. Quickly ahead in the count, 2-0. Grady's known amongst his teammates and even the other athletes at Hutch as the barber or cheek cuts. This one's fouled away, 2-1. Known to give quite a few haircuts. And De Leon, much like his first at bat, off the end of the bat into left. Divis gets over a little quicker. De Leon's going to put the brakes on and stay at first. But almost the same spot as the first inning. De Leon now 2 for 2. Double and a single. It's going to bring Tyler Hawk to the plate. Hawk popped out in foul territory to Bobby Morganson as his first at bat. First pitch inside. Hawk ahead in the count, 1-0. Kirkart throws over to first. Daly on back easily. Grady, a redshirt sophomore from Lyons, Kansas, making his third appearance. 0-1 with a 6.75 ERA. Ball's behind in the count, 2-0. And misses upstairs. 3-0 now to Hawk. Kirkart checks the runner. Delivers. Strike one. Now 3-1. Hawk lifts the 3-1 pitch into left. Divis has a beat on it and makes the catch for the first out of the inning. That'll bring up Austin Lynch. Lynch singled, came around to score the second run of the Cougar first. Both he and De Leon scored on the double by Oriovides. De Leon at first here in the third. Kirkart misses upstairs, 1-0. De Leon gets his lead. Morganson holding the runner on. Now Lynch steps out. A little bit of a chess match going on. Lynch tried to check his swing. That one fouled away. Evens the count at 1-1. Somebody just starting to get loose in the Blue Dragon bullpen. As we talked about in game one, we anticipate the Dragons running through quite a few pitchers with league starting on Thursday. Nobody's going to go too deep. 1-1, Grady steps off, fires back to first. De Leon back standing up. The 1-1 pitch is lined into right field. For a base hit for Lynch, his second of the game. Sends De Leon around to third. So now the Cougars have runners at the corners. With just one down here in the top of the third, leading at 2-1. That'll bring up Michael Oriovides, the catcher. Oriovides doubled in the first. Drove 2 runs in with that double. Has an opportunity to do some more damage here in the third. It's exactly what he was thinking with that swing. Grady fooled him. Ahead in the count, 0-1. The runner from first takes off. Lynch is going to get into second with the stolen base. 1-1 the count. So a stolen base for Lynch puts runners at second and third. So a pair in scoring position with one away here in the top of the third. Grady Kirkart trying to work his way out of the jam. Just inside. Gage Wall getting loose in the Blue Dragon bullpen. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 2-2. Be a big out for Grady if he can get this one. Just one away. Runners at second and third. Grady comes set, and the 2-2. This is lined to short. Snagged by Moritz, and they're going to double off. Lynch at second. So a huge play for the Blue Dragons to get out of that jam. Cougars had second and third with one away, but leave one stranded after 2.5. Redlands leads it 2-1. Blue Dragons back to the top of the order. Here in the bottom of the third, trailing Redlands 2-1. Wyatt Divis to lead things off. Wyatt walked on 4 straight pitches in his first appearance of the game. Takes ball one inside. Turns on the next pitch. Sends this one high and deep to right. And they're going to watch it sail out of the ball. So Wyatt did not want to be shown up by Bobby Morganson going deep in both games. Decides to join the parade. Gets his second of the day. And third of the season. So now the Dragons have tied it at 2-2. That brings up the shortstop, or excuse me, second baseman, Logan Sartori. Logan hit it hard his first time up and hit it right at the third baseman. Set him up for a 5-4-3 double play. Takes the first pitch low and away. Logan, a freshman from Lincoln. Filling the big shoes of Michael Hillman, the National Junior College Player of the Year last year. Now at Texas A&M. Big hop on the grounder to short. De Leon fires across to record Sartori for the first out of the inning. That brings up Bobby Morganson, the bus. A lot of people think Bobby's known as the bus because he's 6'4", 225, but we're going to make Bobby tell you the real story because it's much better than just his size. Takes the first pitch away for a ball. So if you're curious, the next time you see Bobby, just ask him why. Two 2-0 the count. Bobby homered in the bottom of the first. Takes that one away, 3-0. Heron being careful with him. And Bobby earns the walk on 4 straight. That'll bring up Zach Baxley, designated hitter. Doubled in the first, moved to third on a pass ball, was stranded there. Morganson at first. 5 for 5 in stolen bases on the year. Zach fooled on that one, swing and a miss. Heron checking Morganson. Brings it to Baxley again, swing and a miss. Quickly 0-2. Tied at 2 here, bottom of the third. And Zach turns on this one, lines it down the left field line. Foul by inches. Just inches. Not a popular call, but from up here, barely the right call. Zach needed to hit a fade instead of a draw, and that thing would have stayed fair for him. So he gets his bat, gets reset. Morganson was already to third, Zach to second. Counts 0-2. Bobby back to first. Zach calls time, wants to get set. Probably trying to catch his breath. There's the 0-2. Turns on that one, grounded foul. Can't even grade the effort of Coach Cervantes on that foul grounder. There actually has to be effort shown before we can grade it, and there simply was none. Zach fooled on that one. Swing and a miss on the pitch in the dirt because first is occupied in less than 2 outs. He's automatically out. So a strikeout of Zach Baxley for the second out of the inning. Brings up Garrett Stevens. Stevens hit a liner to third to end the first. Comes up here with 2 away. Morganson on first. Turns on the first, hits a liner right to third again. This time it's through for a base hit. Almost a repeat of the first. Almost a repeat of the first inning. Got that one up a little bit more. Third baseman jumped for it. Couldn't quite get enough leather on it. So that puts Dragons at first and second now with 2 away. Bottom of the third brings up shortstop Ryan Moritz. Ryan grounded out to the pitcher to lead off the second. Two for 3 in game 1. The delivery. Ball 1. Want to If you're in the area on Thursday, Blue Dragon baseball back at it. 1 o'clock. The opening of league play. Ball inside. Dragons currently sitting at 5-3 on the season. And then that evening, once we get baseball wrapped up, you can trek on over to the sports arena, support the Blue Dragon women and men as they begin playoff action. The women against the Pratt Beavers, the men against the Cloud County Thunderbirds. Opening round of Region 6 action. There's a strike call. We have to wait. We told you at the beginning how deliberate this umpire is. Not overly demonstrative with the strike call. 2-1 pitch. Catches the inside corner. Evens it at 2-2. Softball also in action today, playing the Bethel College Junior Varsity over in North Newton. We'll try to get you an update on those scores. They were up 21-0 last we saw. Counts now full to Moritz. Full count, 2 away, runners at first and second. They'll be off with the pitch. Be a nice time to poke one into a gap or down the line. Moritz takes time. Softball won the first game of their doubleheader today. So Moritz is going to walk to load the bases. So the walk to Moritz brings up third baseman Dylan Nedved. Dylan fouled out to the catcher his first appearance. His only plate appearance of the day so far. Pitched a little bit in game 1. Heron steps off. Oyervitas going to go chat. Make sure they're on the same page. Heron getting the sign. Bases full of Dragons, 2 away, bottom of the third. Called strike 1 to Nedved. Dragons with 1 across so far here in the third. The leadoff home run by Divis, tied it at 2. This one's down low, evens it up at 1-1. Game 2 of the softball doubleheader today at Bethel is tied at 2 in the bottom of the third. Here's a slow roller by Nedved down the third base line. It's hugging the chalk, and it hugs it all the way fair. So that's going to be an infield hit for Nedved and an RBI to give the Dragons a 3-2 lead. It's one of those when it's hit, you fully expect it to roll foul, but they must have put just enough chalk out there that it stayed between the chalk and the grass. It's going to bring up Brock Schaefer. Schaefer reached on a walk in the second. Comes up now with the bases loaded. 2 away. Dragons now leading at 3-2. Both teams with 5 hits apiece. This one's in the dirt. Oyervitas keeps it in front of him. 1-0 the count. Schaaf, the Blue Dragons center fielder, went 1 for 2 in the first game. Also reached on a hit by pitch. Big swing. Can't get there. Oyavides throws to third, but the third baseman wasn't at the bag in time, and the ball gets away. That brings home Stevens with the Dragons' 4th run. So a Cougar error scores the Dragons' 4th run. 1-1's the count. Brock tried to check his swing, and he did, according to the umpire. 2-1 now the count to Brock. Dragons on second and third. Scored 3 here in the bottom of the 4-2 lead. This one's outside. Moritz on third, Nedved on second. Schaefer at the plate. This one's inside. Ball 4. So that's going to load him up again. Schaaf walks for the second time today. Brings up Julian Ripp, but before that, it's going to bring a visit to the mound. We're going to take a quick break and be with you in just a moment. Well, the conference at the mound is broken up. Starting to see a little bit of activity in the Redlands bullpen. Julian Ripp at the plate. Hutchinson with the bases loaded. 2 down, bottom of the third, leading at 4-2. Julian struck out swinging in the second. Chance to redeem himself here. First pitch just misses. Ball 1. Julian, one of Blue Dragons who hails from the Netherlands. Timo van Lingen being the other pitcher for the Blue Dragons. Sharply back up the middle. Heron snags it. Goes to first to end the inning. But the Dragons score 3. And after 3 complete, they lead Redlands 4-2. Right fielder Joshua Detweiler to lead things off for the Cougars here in the top of the fourth. Grady Kirkhart, G-Cuts, back on the mound for his second inning of work for Hutch. Two 2-0 the count to Detweiler. Detweiler grounded out in the first. This one to center. Schaefer back at the track and makes the catch for the first out of the fourth. Detweiler hit it hard, but Schaefer was able to track it down. He's going to bring up the second baseman, Nate Williams. First pitch called strike. Nope. One and one the count. It's going to bring Coach Schmidt out of the dugout. Pretty deliberate pace to his walk, too, and none of the other infielders are joining in, so he's got a message to send to Grady. Must not like something he'd seen in the beginning of the inning. I'm going to go out on a limb here, but I don't think Coach Schmidt was making a haircutting appointment with Grady on that visit. One and one the count. Ball inside. 2-1 to end the first. Now 3-1. This one's off the end of the bat, lifted into left, but Divis is able to chase it down for the second out of the inning. Cougar third baseman Trevin Robinson now coming to the plate. Robinson struck out to lead off the second for the Cougars. Swing and a miss. Nice pitch by Grady. Had him fooled in reaching. Here's the 0-1. Right down the middle. 0-2. Grady's already ready to go. And that's why. Strikeout swinging. 3 quick pitches. That ends the fourth for the Cougars. After 3.5, Hutchinson leads it 4-2. Back now for action in the bottom of the fourth. Wyatt Divis flies out to left, leading it off for Hutch. Hutch sent 9 to the plate in the third. Divis led the third off with a homer. Leads this one off with the fly out. Brings up Logan Sartori. Sartori lifts this one down the right field line. Right fielder giving chase, but it's going to fall. Foul. Brings Sartori back to the box. Sartori walked. Sartori grounded out, looking at the wrong game. Grounded out to short in the last inning. 0 for 2 on the day in this one. Takes called strike 2. Turns on this one, grounds it fair down the left field line. Sartori's going to turn. He's already made up his mind. He's going for 2. Here comes the throw. He's in, standing up. So a 1-out double for Logan. Here in the Blue Dragon half of the fourth. Goes along with the double he had in the first game. Brings up Bobby Morganson. Bobby homered in the first, walked in the third. Good day for Bobby, 3 for 4 in game 1. Also with a home run. The Florida Atlantic commit tried to check his swing. Wasn't able to do so. He steps out, gets himself composed. Sartori at second. 1 away. Heron takes a peek, takes another peek. Delivers this one low. Zach Baxley on deck. Here in the bottom of the fourth. Game 2 of this doubleheader. Been a beautiful afternoon for baseball. And there's a throw into center field. Heron made a move. Sartori started to go to third. Heron made the throw, but nobody was at the bag, but he threw it to the shortstop, or that was his intent, but threw it over De Leon's head into center. So the error on Heron sends Sartori to third, 1 away. Or even a ground out. Infield's playing back. This one misses outside. 2-1 the count. Heron bounces this one several feet in front of the plate. It's going to make it to the backstop and bring home Sartori on the wild pitch. So a double, an error, and a wild pitch. Bring home run number 5 for Hutchinson. Makes the count 3-1 on Morganson. The next pitch for Heron will be his 70th. Here's the windup in the pitch. Outside. You know, after Bob went 3 for 4 with the home run in game 1 and then hit a long home run to lead off game 2, seems like the Cougars might be a little bit careful with him. Walked him on 4 pitches in the third and on 5 pitches here in the fourth. Brings up Baxley. Baxley turns on the first one, hits it high to left. Left fielder settles under it. Makes the catch by Luke Ball. That's the second out of the inning. Zach just got into that one, just missed it. Brings up Garrett Stevens, the catcher. Garrett 1 for 2, has hit it hard both times up, has hit a line drive both times up, and has hit it at the third baseman both times. Snagged the first one, just missed the second. If I'm the third baseman, I'm on the tips of my toes right now. Ball up. Morganson at first, 2 away. Ball outside to Stevens. Blue Dragons leading it 5-2. 5 runs on 6 hits. No errors committed. Dragons, 2 runs, 5 hits, 2 costly errors. 3-0 to Garrett. Bobby with a safe lead at first. Leads the team in stolen bases this season. Strike. Garrett appeared to be taking. Heron gets set, delivers the 3-1, fouled away. Full count out of Garrett. 2 outs. Morganson at first. Bobby will be off and running on the pitch. Heron looking off Oyervitas. Shakes him off a couple of times. Looking for something he likes. And Stevens with a swing and a miss. That's going to end the bottom of the 4th, but Hutchinson puts another on the board on the Wyatt Divis, or excuse me, on the Sartori double. Error and wild pitch. After 4. Hutchinson leading it 2. Redlands first baseman Casey Cooper leading off the top of the 5th for the Cougars. Cooper grounded out to the shortstop, his first at bat. Kirkhart back out for his 3rd inning. That's as long as any Blue Dragon pitcher has gone today. Evens the count at 1-1. That one gets away from Grady. Cooper has to duck. Luckily, he's only 5'7", so he didn't have to duck much. Grady appeared to lose his footing on that one. 3-1 now the count. Cooper turns on that. High and foul down the left field line, out of play. Really gave that one a ride. The clubhouse at the far end, and if he'd have straightened that out by about 40 feet, it would have been a home run. But instead, it's just a long strike. And actually, the ball was retrieved by Missy Schmidt, Coach Schmidt's wife. She was out that way. Some of the moms and Coach Schmidt's wife are getting some food ready for the boys after the game. Cooper lines this one fair down the left, straighten that one out, heading into second with a double. So Redlands trying to get some runs back here in the top of the fifth. The leadoff man on second. Blue Dragons leading at 5-2. Brings up Luke Ball, the left fielder. Ball struck out in his first plate appearance in this game. Kirkhart checking the runner. Swing and a miss. Ahead in the count 0-1. Grady comes set. Takes a peek at Cooper. Delivers this one upstairs. Counts even at 1-1. Leadoff hitter De Leon on deck. Here comes the delivery. And Hall lifts this one into left center. Schaefer's on his horse. He's going to have to get there, and he does. Nice job by Brock to run that one down. Keeps Cooper at second. Records the out for out number 1 here in the top of the fifth. Gets us back to the top of the order. Xavier De Leon. De Leon doubled in the first, came around to score, singled in the third, was stranded at third in that inning. 2 for 2. De Leon steps out, calls time. Kirkhart was in a little bit of a stare down with Cooper, the runner at second. Keep it. Logan Sartori there at second. Making sure they know who's covering what. Grady turns, fakes the throw. Logan's going to come in and chat with him. Moritz is playing very deep in the hole at short. He's not going to get there. Sartori's playing much closer to the bag, so if anybody's going to cover, it's going to have to be Logan. Here's the pitch. Strike 1 called. Five to 2 Hutchinson, top of the fifth inning. Oh, not by De Leon. He reaches out, pokes that one to the right side. It's off the glove of Morganson. Cooper has to hold it third. It's going to be an error on Morganson. Dragons were definitely playing De Leon to pull it. Nice job by him of slapping that one to the right side. Morganson got a glove on it. Knocked it into where the second baseman normally would have been. De Leon reaches. Cooper to third. And then Tyler Hawk gets hit with the next pitch. Here in the top of the fifth. And Gage Wall has sped up his warm-up in the bullpen. He was up earlier. He's up again. Ball one up and away to Austin Lynch, designated hitter. Pair of singles, 2 for 2 in this game. Again, the bases are loaded here in the top of the fifth with just one away. Each team with 6 hits. Counts 1-1. A miss by Lynch. 1-2 now the count. Be a big strikeout for Kirkhart if he could get it here. But instead, Lynch answers with a liner into right center. That's going to bring one home. Here comes the second. Oh, and Moritz could have had a play, bobbled it on the turn, so the Cougars plate 2. And just like that, it's 5-4. Blue Dragons lead. But the Cougars continue to threaten. Cooper scored, De Leon scored. Hawk moved up to second. And Coach Schmidt is taking another walk to the plate, or to the mound, and this one's a slower walk, so you've got to think there's a change coming. Gage Wall has finished his warm-ups. And he takes the ball from Grady. That'll be the end of the day for Grady. Gage is making his way in. While Gage gets warmed up, we'll take a break and be back with you in just a moment. So Gage Wall into pitch for Hutchinson here in the top of the fifth. Cougars have scored a pair. One down. Runners on first and second. Walls, a sophomore from Bing, Oklahoma. Trying to close this door on this Cougar rally. Starts off Oyavides with a called strike one. Dragons led it 5-2 coming into this innings. Cougars have scored a pair. Oyavides grounds this one to short. Can they turn it? Second for one. And they throw that one away past Morganson. Gets past him, but it bounces back. And they're able to retire Oyavides at second as he tried to advance, but the run came across to tie it. So the run scores. We're tied at 5. The fortuitous bounce off the fence on the errant throw comes back to Morganson. He's able to throw out Oyavides at second. So that's the inning with a less than routine double. But the Cougars score 3 and have tied this one up 5-5 now as we go to the bottom of the fifth. Shortstop Ryan Moritz to lead things off for Hutchinson here in the bottom of the fifth. We got a new ball game as the Cougars scored 3 in the top half to tie it 5-5. New pitcher on the mound for the Cougars, Landon Lee. Lefty matchup here against Moritz. First pitch misses away, ball one. That one misses. 2-0 the count. And quickly, 3-0 to Moritz. Dragons need to bounce back after giving up those 3 in the top half. 2 costly errors. And Moritz walks on 4 straight. That'll bring up the third baseman, Dylan Nedved. Nedved looks down to Coach Cervantes to get the signs. Coach Schmidt goes out to give some pointers, words of advice to Coach Cervantes. Some strategy being talked. That one gets away from the catcher. But Oyavides is able to rebound. So the leadoff man is erased. And 1-0 count to Nedved. Strike one called. High and away, ball two. Don't see any stats on our sheet for Landon Lee, so we can't tell you. Maybe this may be his first appearance. Can't tell you what he's done so far this season for the Cougars. 2-1 the count. Off the plate outside. Freshman from Shawnee, Kansas. Here's the 3-1. Down low, ball four. You hate to lose that base runner on the first one. When they walk the first two, Redland coaches don't like what they've seen with back-to-back walks, so they're going to make a change. So a quick two-batter outing for Landon Lee, and the Cougars make a call to the bullpen. So while they get warmed up, we're going to take a quick break. Be back with you in a minute. So a quick call to the bullpen here in the top or bottom of the fifth by Redland. Dakota Jones, 6'1" freshman right-hander from Joshua, Texas, comes in to replace Landon Lee. Lee faced two batters, walked them both, though one of them was cut down trying to advance on a wild pitch, or what would have been a wild pitch. Brings up Blue Dragons center fielder Brock Schaefer. Officially, Brock doesn't have an at-bat this game. He's reached twice on walks. First pitch is outside. Matt Garou is now in at first base for the Cougars. He's holding Nedved on, creates a big hole on the right side. And Brock, being a lefty, would love to take advantage of that. Big swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1-1. 5 runs, 7 hits, 2 errors for the Cougars. 5 runs, 6 hits, 2 errors for the Blue Dragons. Inside corner, called strike 2. Julian Rip on deck. Jones looks in, gets the sign, brings the 1-2 pitch. Brock lifts this one to left. Ball comes in, makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So now 2 away here in the bottom of the 5th. Dylan Nedved at first. Julian Rip coming to the plate. Julian with a strikeout. Grounded out to the pitcher on a sharply hit ground ball in his last at bat. Third baseman playing very deep. Don't know if that's caught Julian's eye or not. Takes called strike 1. Runner takes off. Oyavides with the throw. It goes into center. Nedved's safe at second. He's on his way to third. Big break for the Blue Dragons. So the throwing error from Oyavides moves Nedved up to third after the stolen base. And the lead run is now 90 feet away. One and one's the count. One. Big swing by Julian, fouls it straight back into the net. Evens the count at 2-2. Nedved at third, 2 down. Divis on deck. Dakota Jones on the mound for Redlands. Rip takes time. Julian, so stranded at third. Dragons cannot take advantage of the error. After 5, we're tied at 5. Back with you in a moment. The big right-hander, Zach Moore, now in to pitch for Hutchinson here in the top of the 6th. Zach, a sophomore from Edmond, Oklahoma. Will face the 5, 6, and 7 hitters for Redlands. Joshua Detweiler, the right fielder, leading it off. Counts even at 1-1. Zach got the start in the first game of the season for the Dragons at Coffeyville, but left in the first inning with some discomfort in his right arm. Back on the mound. 3-1 now the count. Full count. This is Zach's first appearance since that game at Coffeyville. Has a beat on it, and that's the first out of the inning. So one away. Detweiler gave it a ride, hit it hard. Brings up Nate Williams, second baseman for the Cougars. Nate's 0 for 2, strikeout. And a fly out to left. First pitch swinging at this one, fouls it towards the Redlands bullpen and just out of the reach of Morganson. So a quick 0-1 count. If that's hit a little bit higher and gives Bobby a couple of more seconds to get over there, he may be able to reach over and snag that. But called pitch, strike, inside corner. Puts more. Ball one in the dirt. Stevens does a nice job keeping that one in front of him. No runners on base, so you think that it may not really matter, but to the coaches, those always matter because you want to form those habits the right way. 2-2 now to Williams. Here's the windup and the delivery. Just misses upstairs. Full count now to Williams. Three balls, two strikes, one away. Nobody on here in the top of the sixth. And Zach loses him. So a walk to Nate Williams. Brings up the pitch hitter for Redlands, Keyshawn Smith. Smith played in game one for the Cougars. Grounded out and flew out. Swing and a miss on the first. Down in the count 0-1. Counts even now, 1-1. Big swing by Smith. Can't catch up to it. Zach's up in the count now. 1-2. Just misses there now, 2-2. If you're interested in game previews, game recaps, statistics for Blue Dragon baseball, or frankly any sport, make sure you bookmark BlueDragonSports.com. There's Smith lifting that one to center. Schaefer back. Catches it just short of the track for the second out. Smith hit it hard, but right at Brock. Now two away. Runner on first. Brings up Matt Garou. Defensive replacement for Casey Cooper. Now coming to the plate. Swings at the first one, lifts it into foul territory, where Morganson tracks it down for the out. So no damage done here in the top of the sixth. One runner left on base. We head to the bottom, tied up 5-5. Top of the order up for the Blue Dragons here in the bottom of the sixth. Game 2 of the doubleheader. Dragons took game 1 13-5. We're tied up at 5 here in game 2. Wyatt Divis to lead things off. Wyatt walked in the first, homered in the third, flew out to left in the fourth. Takes that one outside. Don't forget Blue Dragon basketball in action Thursday evening at the Sports Arena. The women open first round Region 6 playoff against the Pratt Beavers, while the men take on the Cloud County Thunderbirds. Those tickets are on sale right now at the Blue Dragon Athletic offices at the south entrance of the Sports Arena. Come in the south entrance, up the stairs to the athletics, and they'll get you taken care of. 8-5 tomorrow. Ball 2 down low. Games on Thursday. Be a great day for Blue Dragon Athletics Thursday. Come out for some baseball. Doubleheader against Colby. And then a doubleheader of basketball that evening. Big swing by Wyatt. Fouls that one off the fence. Counts even at 2-2. Make sure you check out BlueDragonSports.com for all your Blue Dragon news. Steve Carpenter, Sports Information Director, does a fantastic job of keeping that current, up-to-date. Lots of stories. Ball outside. Wyatt had the look on his face there when he looked back at it. Was like, yeah, that was outside, right? Full count. On that one, ball 4. So the leadoff man aboard. Be big for the Blue Dragons to get the lead here in the bottom of the 6th and go to the 7th with a chance to end this. Brings up second baseman Logan Sartori. Sartori's grounded into a double play. Grounded to short. Doubled in the 4th, came around to score after an errant pickoff attempt and a wild pitch. Bunt foul. That pitch was up. Logan's kind of shaking off the right hand. Don't know if that caught a finger or if it was just the vibration of the bat that gave him a stinger. He's going to go for a little bit of a walk. The pitch appeared to be up, so the bunt went up, which is always risky. The catcher has a chance to snag that one for a quick out. Logan's going to walk down and talk to Coach Cervantes. Coach Schmidt's going to come out. They're going to take a look at his finger. And they're going to call for a trainer to see what we've got here. So I think that answers our question on whether the ball caught the finger on the bunt attempt. Logan's going to walk over with trainer Ryan Hilty, Director of Sports Medicine for Hutchinson Community College. Coach is going to come out and visit with the home plate umpire. He's got his sheet out, so we might be seeing a change here. Crit Williams has come out and grabbed a bat. Going to get a few swings in to get warmed up. So after one pitch in this at-bat, we're going to have an 0-1 count. Crit's going to come in and inherit that 0-1 count. Substituting for Logan Sartori. We'll set the table here. We've got Divis at first. After the walk, nobody out. Bottom of the sixth, score tied 5-5. Crit was a defensive replacement late in game one. This is his first at bat of the day. Let's see if he's got the same bunt sign or bunt call that that Sartori was trying to pull off. Jones throws to first, Divis back safely. Crit's 1 for 6 on the year, a couple of RBIs. Squares to bunt, fouls it back. So now that most likely settles what his approach is from here on out with an 0-2 count. He had the Sartori foul ball that injured Logan's finger and caused the substitution. So now the foul ball by Crit makes the count 0-2. Choking up. Knows the importance of making contact here, trying to move the runner. At least get him into scoring position. Jones takes a look. Looks again at Divis. Crit calls time. Going to step out. Dakota Jones on the mound for the Cougars. Set at the belt. Here's the delivery. Just inside to Williams. 1-2. Wyatt Divis getting the lead at first. Garou holding him on. Jones with the 1-2. Swing and a miss by Williams. Jones dropped down sidearm on that one. Fooled Williams because that was off the plate outside, but that delivery threw him off a little bit. Coerced him into the strikeout. Brings up Bobby Morganson. And also brings a mound visit. Let's take a quick break while the Cougars talk strategy. So the trip to the mound is over. Dakota Jones, freshman from Joshua, Texas, remains on the mound for Redlands. Bobby Morganson steps in. Bobby homered and has walked twice. They've been very careful with Bobby in the last 2 plate appearances, and that's likely what a big part of that conversation was about. Pitch outside. They're not going to give Bobby anything that he can get too excited about. Three for 4 in game 1 with 3 runs scored, including a homer. A long homer to start this game in the first. 2 walks since. Jones to first, Divis back easily. Morganson getting set. Score's tied 5-5. Bottom of the 6th, 7-inning game, scheduled for 7. Another throw. Divis back again. Blue Dragon women start playoff action in basketball 5:30 Thursday against Pratt. The winner of that game will play the winner of Garden City Northwest Tech on Sunday afternoon at Hartman Arena in Park City. Here's the 1-0 count. Inside corner, strike 1. Good pitch by Jones. The Blue Dragon men play Cloud County immediately following the women. They'll play the winner of Independence and Northwest Tech at 7 o'clock Sunday at Hartman Arena. I'm wrong on one of those 2 days because they play on, I'm sorry, the men play on the 4th, the women play on the 5th. Here's the 1-1. Nope. Throw to first instead. Working hard to keep Divis close to the bag. They know the importance of that run over there. Cougars have hit the Dragons 7-6. Also committed 3 errors to 2 for the Dragons. And both teams will tell you those errors have been very costly. Here's the 1-1. Morganson, sharp grounder short. Bobbled. The second for 1. They get the 1, but they're not able to turn 2. So Bobby reaches on the fielder's choice. Divis is retired on the force. A little bit of a bobble there by the shortstop. Kept them from turning a double play. And that brings up Zach Baxley. Zach doubled in the first. Struck out and flew out. 1 for 3 on the game. Now we have Morganson at first. 2 away, bottom of the 6th. Dakota Jones comes set. Here's a delivery. Baxley grounds this one sharp to short. Over to second for force. That'll end the inning. So after 6, we remain tied 5-5. to the 7th. This game's scheduled for 7, but we're knotted at 5. Zach Moore back on the mound for Hutch. Facing Luke Ball. Takes the first pitch, lifts it into left. Divis makes the catch. 1 pitch, 1 out. That'll get to the top of the order, and Xavier De Leon. De Leon with a double single, reached on an error, came around to score, has scored a pair in this game. Nice breaking ball from Zach, called strike 1. One and one the count now. Called strike 2. Zach ahead of the count 1-2. One count to De Leon. Misses low and away. Even it up at 2-2. Two delivery. Breaking ball. De Leon was reaching. Just got a piece of it. The ball settled right next to home plate. Foul ball. We'll do it again. De Leon reaching for that one, flares it out into shallow right. Crit Williams makes the catch. Crit now in defensively at second for Logan Sartori. Came to bat for Logan in the last inning. Logan appeared to injure a finger on a bunt attempt. That'll bring up Tyler Hawk, the center fielder. Hawk is 0 for 2. Fouled out to first, flew out to left, hit by a pitch in his last at bat. Out to a quick 2-0 advantage. And 3-0. Zach behind in this count. Strike call on the outside corner. Here's the 3-1. Misses low and away. So with 2 down, the Cougars get a base runner. The lead run is on first. We're tied at 5 in the top of the 7th. Brings up designated hitter Austin Lynch. Lynch with a pair of singles, grounded into a force out. Big swing and a miss. Moore up in the count 0-1. Dayton Lane starting to get loose in the Blue Dragon bullpen. Lynch lifts this one to left. Pretty well hit. Divis has a beat on it and makes the catch for out number 3. So Moore works around the 2-out walk. Nothing further for the Cougars in the 7th. We go to the bottom of the 7th. We're tied up 5-5. Well, it's the bottom of the 7th here at Hobart-Detter Field. This game is scheduled for 7, but we're tied 5-5. Garrett Stevens to lead things off for the Blue Dragons. Garrett takes a called strike one. Dragons need to try to push one across here and wrap this up. Counts even at 1. Well hit, but the catch is made for the first out of the inning. That brings up Ryan Moritz, the shortstop for the Blue Dragons. Ryan with a ground out and a pair of walks. Officially 0 for 1. Takes that one outside for ball 1. Blue Dragons handed Redlands their first defeat of the season in game 1 of today's doubleheader. Came into the day 10-0. Big swing by Ryan, fouls that one back. Yeah, 1-1. Lights have come on here at Hobart-Detter. Just enough of dusk setting in that this one gets away from the catcher, back to the backstop, 2-1. Ball inside, 3-1 now to Moritz. Jones just over the 30 pitch mark. There's the 3-1. Big swing, fouled off. Full count now, 3-2 to Moritz. It's become a race with the Schmidt kids chasing that one. I think Josiah gets the recovery, but Owen gets the tackle. 3-2 pitch just misses outside. So Moritz is on. The potential winning run now at first for the Blue Dragons. That brings Dylan Nedved to the plate. Third baseman, freshman from Shawnee, Kansas. One for 2. Also reached on a walk. Swings hard and lines this one into center. That's down for a base hit. Center fielder bobbles it. Moritz is going to head to third, and he's going to reach it safely. So we're going to have a single by Nedved. An error on the center fielder is going to move that winning run up to third. The 4th error on the day for the Cougars in this game. So now we have first and third. Brock Schaefer at the plate. And boy, this is where coaches can get creative. Schaefer can handle the bat extremely well. The Cougar infield is going to play in, and they're going to have their own conference. Brock is going to go talk to Coach Cervantes and talk strategy. And that's going to bring the Redlands manager, head coach, out of the dugout, and I think he's going to make a pitching change. Looks like he gave the signal for the bullpen, and that's exactly what he's going to do. So we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back with you. Bottom of the 7th, first and third, the winning run 90 feet away. So Ryan Hildner, a freshman from Fletcher, Oklahoma, is handed the ball in this situation for Redlands. Blue Dragons at first and third. One away. Schaefer squares to bunt, takes a called strike. But more importantly, Ned moves to second with a stolen base, takes away the double play. Now we've got Blue Dragons at second and third. One down, infield playing in. They're all in on the grass. Moritz at third. He's the winning run. Oh, and there. It appears the plan is to intentionally walk Brock Schaefer now and load the bases to set the double play up again. That first pitch nearly sailed to the backstop. So that's just what Hildner needs, is that seed planted in the back of his mind. And if you're the catcher in Oyavitas, something else for you to think about as well, because that would have been a heck of a way to end the game on a wild pitch walk-off. There's the third one. So, Schaefer to first. That must have been the fourth one. I must have missed one. Bases loaded. One out. And Coach Schmidt is going to send Zion Bolin up to the plate to pinch hit for Julian Ripp. Zion played in the first game. This first appearance in game 2. Bases full of Dragons. First pitch called strike. Hill. Infield's in at the corners. Double play depth up the middle. Here's the 0-1. Called strike 2 on the outside corner. Bolin quickly down on the count, 0-2. Wyatt Divis, the leadoff hitter, on deck. Pretty tense situation. Here's the 0-2, fouled at the plate by Bolin. Count remains 0-2. Moritz at third, Nedved at second, Schaefer at first. Frankly, Moritz is the only one that matters. Bottom of the 7th, we're tied at 5. Game is scheduled for 7. Hildner looking in, gets the call from Oyavitas. Here's the 0-2. Upstairs, 1-2. Both dugouts on the top step. Moritz keeping an eye on Hildner. Gets his lead. Here's the delivery. Line just foul down the third base line. So we'll reset the action. Count remains 1-2. Bases loaded. The winning run 90 feet away. Zion Bolin at the plate for Hutchinson. Ryan Hildner towing the rubber for Redlands. Hildner comes set. The delivery. Fouled again. Bolin continues to battle. Zion went over 3 in game 1. Let's just say he's due. Pretty good gaps between third and short First and second. Zion's got good speed. Chance to beat one out. He gets one on the ground. Anything on the ground, you know Moritz will be coming hard. Here's the delivery. This is line to second, bobbled by the second baseman. He's going to go to second for one. Safe at first. The Dragons win it. The Dragons win it. Your final score, Hutchinson 6, Redlands 5, and the team is chasing Zion out into right. Boy, that bobble by the second baseman was huge because without that, the play was close enough at first. He's probably able to get the double play. That ball was hit so hard. But the reality of it was it wasn't. Zion beat it out. The Dragons sweep the doubleheader, taking 2 from Redlands. The first 2 losses of the year for the Cougars. They fall to 10-2. Dragons improve to 6-3. Dragons take it 13-5 in game 1, 6-5 in game 2. Don't forget, they return to action this Thursday at 1 p.m. And basketball evening, the women at 5:30, the men at 7:30. Thanks for tuning in to Blue Dragon Sports. Check out BlueDragonSports.com for all your recaps, game previews, statistics, rosters, and so much more. Thanks for tuning in. We send our best to Steve Carpenter. Look forward to seeing him back up here Thursday, as does the Coca-Cola route salesman. Thank you all. We'll see you at the next one.